Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Manor Lords, and welcome back to Nerderwand. Yes, this new region has its own name, which is somewhat inspired by the name that was here before, and it's also based on a lot of your feedback. There were a bunch of people that said, hey, why not use that name as inspiration, sort of keep that German thing going on. So yes, Nerderwand is the third region that we have here alongside, of course, Snerderberger, which I don't know if that's inspired by anything, but it's really fun to say, and Nerderwand, which is also inspired by the name that was here originally. Now, I want to get started today by having a look at my apiaries, because as we know, these guys will give us a passive yield of honey, and every third yield is going to provide wax. But as I look through my crafting materials, unless I'm just blind, wax is not listed in here. I can't find it anywhere in any of these tabs at the top of the screen. But I can find it in a trading post. It's right down here. It is something we can export. We have a ton of it in Nerderwand. We have a ton of it in Nerderwand as well. We're gonna get there. And the reason I'm aware of this at all is once again because of your feedback. Again, I don't remember who it was, but someone was like, hey, wax doesn't have any purpose right now except to be exported for nothing but profit. So that is what we're going to be doing with the wax here in Nerderwand. We are going to need to establish a trade route because it is a major trade, so we're not doing anything with it right now, but that's okay. There are some places that we can do some things with wax. And again, just for clarity's sake, I'm talking about the fact that we can't do anything with it other than export it. What I'm getting at is that here in Nerderwand, we can go to our crafting materials, we can go down here, and we can see that we have 1,087 wax just sitting here. So we're gonna be exporting that. We don't need to worry about a surplus. We do, unfortunately, need 420 regional wealth to establish this trade route. So that's not exactly ideal, but it is something we will get our hands on at some point. And also, not sure why, but these towers are floating. I think Manor Lords is struggling a little bit with the 226 families that we have in Nerderwand. I don't think the game's very happy with me. Although, while we're here, I do have a little bit of work that I want to do, and that work is going to involve expanding Nerderwand just that little bit more. We have 12 months of food, we have 16 months of fuel. What I would like to do is come down this way and have a look at our fertility, because we do have a little bit of rye fertility in this space, and I think it would be a good idea to use that. So what I'm gonna try and do is get my camera relatively central over right about there. I want to grab a road and just sort of bring it right back to the water's edge, which is right about there. And that's going to be sort of the border of a new farming area is what it's going to be. We're going to do the same thing here. We're going to want to go roughly through these trees. I guess we'll follow this contour line for a little bit and then bring this sort of up and over this way. We are going to be dealing with pretty rough fertility in a couple of different spots here, but I'm just going to build a whole bunch of farms in this space, and we're going to go a little bit nuts with all of that is what we're going to do. We're going to get a lot of farms in here so that we can get a lot of rye out of this space and really, hopefully, never have to worry about food demand in Nerderwand again. So I think what we'll do is bring a little path down from here so that we kind of, I'm pretty sure there's not a lot of fertility in that space, but I think there is a bit in the middle here. We'll bring this guy down to this road right about there. And I think we can also just sort of follow this one contour line over this way. And I might just connect it to the road that we have over there on the right, just because we can, just to change things up a little bit. So we'll do something like this. And then I want to put a bunch of roads through here to divide this up a little bit so that we're not dealing with absolutely huge farms, because that might be a little bit silly. So we'll just sort of cut through this entire space. We can cut sort of down this way as well, I think to about there. And then we'll just sort of divide this up a little bit like this as well. Obviously, there is still a ton of space to play with here. but I think this is going to be good. And I'm like I said, I'm hoping this gets rid of pretty much any food demand that we would have in Nerderwand. That's the idea. That is the idea. That is the hope. That is whatever we want to call it, but that is the idea for this little development here. Now, obviously, we are going to be needing a farmhouse in here. So I think what we'll do, apparently it's too steep to build it in there. We could build it in this space, but if we look at a rye fertility, that is very fertile. So I think we're just going to build it down at the end of this road. And then I also want to put some foresters out here so that we can surround these farms with a bunch of trees. I think that would look pretty cool. And I'm also going to build another saw pit. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to build another woodcutter's lodge so that we can have a little bit of firewood production out this way, just to make sure that we're going to be good on that front as well, because obviously we're going to have to get a lot of people to work in a lot of these spaces. Because obviously, as we know by this point, I'm sure, 8 people are required for the farmhouse. It's going to be 3 for the woodcutter's lodge, which means, what is that, 11? Yes, it is basic maths. 2 for the forester's hut, and then 2 for the other forester's hut. So we need 15 unassigned families for this entire production, which means we need 11 new burgage plots. So if we go over this way, it's a little bit of a ways away from everything, but my thinking is we extend this road down to here, and we go ahead and get ourselves a bunch of new burgage plots. We'll go, I want to say across like this. I think I'm going to turn off snap to road though. I'm going to go a little thinner on this. And then we're going to snap to, oh, please don't freeze on me. Manor Lords has been having some problems today is what it's been doing. We'll do something like this. That is a pretty good looking burgage plot. We can go and hopefully get some small ones in here with little extensions at the back. And that is going to be 4. We needed, what is that? So that means we need another 8 of them, I think. Is what that means. So we'll go across here, down to here, and across like this, and we have more extensions at the back, which is absolutely perfect. So that is 7. Can I do some burgage plots down here, or is this going to be too steep? That is too steep to build on. That's really unfortunate, but that's okay. This space here, I'm wondering if we could do a little something with it. I'm wondering if we can kind of go around it a little bit like this and have it sort of work out. That actually looks okay as far as I'm concerned. I think we can work with that. It gives us a little expansion space at the side, which is totally fine. We'll go down to here, back to here, and across like this. And we don't have enough goods to build this because we only have 3 timber when we need 4. How do we have no timber in here? Do we genuinely, we don't need more woodcutters, surely. It seems a little bit silly to imagine that we would need more woodcutters. I also think we need like 1 more burgage plot. So let's just, I guess, use this space up here. We will need some extra burgage plots for construction as well. Although I would like to avoid encroaching too far in this way because we do have some production up that way. Although a little road straight across there is probably not the worst idea in the world. And a little road that sort of comes down like this is just going to look kind of interesting. So sure, that's the thing that we're going to do. And then do we have timber? We have 1. Can I, by any chance, get myself some burgage plots in here? Do these guys have expansions at the back? They do. I do need 8 timber to make that happen, which is really unfortunate. But that is a really nice and really dense little set of burgage plots. I do like that. I really do. I'm also thinking it's probably not a bad idea to make sure that these are the priority for construction in Nerderwand, because we are going to want to make sure that these get built first before all of the actual production buildings that we're looking to put in here. This way, people can move in a little bit sooner than later. Now, in other news, I do want to come over here to Snerderberger because we do have some trading posts in here, and I do think it would be a good idea to export some wax. The problem is, we don't have any. So we are going to set this up to export wax. We are going to purchase that trade route and get it established. And then we're going to get some new families in here because basically I want to. It's also worth keeping in mind, you've probably seen them, all of these pantry full notifications. It's almost always going to be somewhere with a vegetable garden, or it's going to be one of these guys over here with the orchards. Now we do have a little granary in here that I would like to upgrade. because I want to make sure we can get a bunch of people working on this thing. And that's actually going to hopefully go out and get some of the stuff from those burgage plots before it becomes a problem. And I guess while that's going on, we could look at this space and maybe do just a little bit of construction to get some new burgage plots in here. And these guys can have some apiaries so that we can get some wax in Snerderberger, which seems like a great idea. Now, I do want to point out, as I'm sure some of you are going to be aware of, this area in general is crazy fertile for rye. But to be fair, this entire region is crazy fertile for rye. So I don't want to hear anything about you're building on fertile land again. I know you are. And by the way, I poke fun. You're completely right. Every single time I've seen a comment that mentions building on fertile land, there's a little part of me that's like, man, it's not that big of a deal. And then there's another part of me that's like, nah, it is. You're an idiot, basically. Is not me. I'm the idiot. Is just for, clarity's sake. It's like, yeah, you did, put a farmhouse in some really fertile land. You put some burgage plots in some really fertile land. It's just me. It's just what I do. It's just what I do. It's just how I be. Anyway, let's make sure these guys are prioritized as well so that we can get these burgage plots built a little bit sooner than later. We are going to need to make sure to get some apiaries on the backs of these, and it is going to take a little bit of time to get some wax in here, but I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be time well spent, and I'm slightly tempted to put more burgage plots in here because I think having these apiaries here actually does influence the farms that we have in this space. So it might not be the worst idea in the world to just sort of go all in on this and get just a bunch of them. I don't love that one on the left though. So we'll go slightly smaller. We'll do something like this. We'll do these guys. That'll be great. And then this one down here, one big burgage plot. That'll be totally fine. I like this. I do. I think this will be pretty cool. We also, just while we're here, need to put people back to work in the saw pit because this is where we're going to get planks from. It turns out Snerderberger has none. So we're going to be waiting around a little while for these apiaries to get built once the burgage plots get built. And also, how's this granary coming along? We're going to be waiting for this. We're waiting for a lot of things is what we're doing. Oh, now hold on a second. Deforestation has removed wild berry bushes. I think we are at risk of losing these mushrooms completely if I don't move this woodcutter away from that area. That seems really, really bad is what that seems like. So I'm going to say that this woodcutter is going to work in this space is what he's going to do. We're going to just sort of maybe down here, actually, this guy can work just to make sure that we don't happen to lose those mushrooms completely. You are going to work in this space and that should be okay. We will need to do some reforestation in there at some point, but hopefully this isn't the end of the world. Hopefully we don't lose those mushrooms completely. I'd be really annoyed if we do. We're trying to solve the food problem in Nerderwand. I don't want to make it worse. Oh no, this is good. It turns out Nerderwand has a ton of regional wealth. So let's go in and make sure that we get the wax export up and running, which is going to give us 6 regional wealth per unit of wax. I love that. Absolutely love that. That's going to be so good. That is going to be so good for this region. It's going to be good for Snerderberger as well, which is going to take some time to build some things. And if we can get some money in Nerderwand, we have 298 regional wealth right now. If we can get 420, I think we might actually manage to hold on to some money in Nerderwand. That would be kind of amazing. So we'll speed the game up a little bit. We are hopefully going to see some money in here. We're kind of relying on exports, I guess, to make this all happen is kind of what I'm thinking. So hopefully this 298 just gets a nice little 122, if I remember right. I think it's $122 gold, regional wealth, whatever the currency is. If we can get that, I can get this route and I will be very, very happy. You know, I've been sitting here longer than I care to admit, just staring at this screen, hoping that we're going to have enough money. And every time we get close, one of these guys over here just rides in and takes all of it. Every last little bit. And it's really annoying. It's really, really annoying. We have 10 regional wealth. So I think we're going to be waiting is what we're going to be doing. I think we're going to have to wait a little bit. We do have these burgage plots coming together over here, which is fantastic news. We do have some construction that's been done out here, which is also fantastic news. So I suppose now is probably as good a time as any to come into this space and just put a few more roads in before we put our farms in here. That seems like it would be kind of a swell idea. So we'll bring this down to the main road right about there. We'll bring this guy up and around sort of this way. And that gives us a bunch of space for a bunch of fields. This bit in here is going to be slightly trickier to work with, but we'll absolutely get there. And again, I do want to point out, I know the fertility in here for rye is not the best. It's not stellar. It's not fantastic, but this should be enough to hopefully put us in a spot where we are producing enough food that I don't have to worry about Nerderwand, because I'm slightly concerned about it. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't. I'm definitely slightly concerned about where we are with Nerderwand. I mean, 12 months of food is fine. It could be a lot worse. I just want to make sure that I just never need to worry about it. That's kind of my goal. I want to be able to go look at Nerderweiss, Snerderberger, wherever it might be, and I want to just not have to think, I wonder how Nerderwand's doing. So that's what we're doing here, is we're just putting all these farms in. This is hopefully going to solve any problems and alleviate any concerns that I might have. And that's my plan. Look, I was raised by my grandparents, right? Trying to make sure everyone's well fed is kind of second nature to me, because it's second nature to, it was second nature to my grandparents. It's still second nature to my gran. I'm recently had a birthday. I turned 32, and I usually work nights. It's just kind of a thing that I do. I'm a bit of a night owl in that regard. And so I went to bed on the morning of my birthday, and I woke up and my gran had, absolutely bless her, had made an absolute mountain of like baked goods for my 32nd birthday, which again, I'm not absolutely not a criticism. I was thrilled about it. There's still some of them left. They're very good. No, I'm not sharing. They're very, very good. But yeah, that tendency to be like, oh, you know what I'm gonna do? Make sure everyone's fed. That's very much from my grandparents, and that's just a part of me is what that is. So let's make sure that we can feed everybody in here. Let's do a field right across that way. It's gonna have no fertility, but it looks cool. In fact, I really like how this whole space looks. This one here is potentially going to be a bit of a mess in terms of layout, but again, I think it looks cool. I really do like that, actually. We also might want 2 farmhouses for this place, because I'm not convinced that 1 is going to be enough, but I do like this. I'm also going to say that this guy is not going to have an unlimited work area. You are going to be working right about, I want to say there. And then this other forester's hut will work on the other side, just to make sure that these are surrounded in trees. But I do like this. I really, really do. The downside now, of course, is I have to go through and set them all up. And we can really see just what the fertility values are going to be in a bunch of these. So I think what we'll do, though, is do rye, wheat, fallow. And then this one can be wheat, rye, fallow. This one can be fallow, rye, wheat. This one can be fallow, wheat, rye. And I'm not going to make you listen to this entire process, because I'm really just kind of making it up as I go along. But we're just going to do a bunch of different rotations. It doesn't really matter what order we go in. I just want to make sure that we have got a ton of rye and wheat. So coming back to Snerderberger, this large granary has been built, which is fantastic news. We'll put 3 people to work in here, which will hopefully deal with some of the problems we're having in a bunch of these orchards. We could put more people to work in here, but we still have some construction. In fact, no, we don't. Interesting. Very interesting. We do not have construction going on. So in that case, what we'll do is put a bunch of people to work in there, and hopefully that will deal with all of the problems that we're having with a bunch of these orchards. Hopefully that is going to help us out. Now, when it comes to these guys, do we have many planks? We actually do. We have a decent little bit of regional wealth. We can also expand this one, but we're just going to go down the line and put a bunch of apiaries on all of these houses, because this will just hopefully help the farms. It'll get us some honey, and it's going to get us the wax that we're looking for, which we can go ahead and export for a bit of extra money in this region, which is obviously kind of the point of what we're trying to do here. So this will be good. This will start that process for Snerderberger. Nerderwand is sitting on 721 regional wealth right now, which makes me think that if we look in here, we do have some wax sitting around. If we have a look at our total, yeah, we've sold quite a bit of it. This is good though. That's the idea. Admittedly, we're quite a ways into this run of Manor Lords. We're year 32 right now. Oh wow, year 32, and okay. We don't have as much in Nerderwand as I would expect for 32 years, but that should be fine. That should be okay. I will make this work, is what we're gonna do. We're also at 241 regional wealth in Nerderwand. See what I mean? The second I even draw attention to it, first off, the game freezes. Second off, someone's like, I'm taking your money. And I think the game might have actually, oh, come on. It's been doing this all day. Oh, we're good. We're good. Okay. Crisis averted. Maybe I just stop running it at full speed. That is probably the problem. Now, just while we're on the topic of money, I am a little bit concerned about the fact that in 80 days time, we are going to be paying an annual royal tax of 3.9 thousand gold. We have 2.5 thousand in our treasury. And so what I've done is I've increased the taxes, the land tax in Nerderwand from 15% to 20% in the hopes of, well, we're not going to be paying this off, but we can hopefully do something about it. As for Snerderberger, if we have a look at the manor here, 15%, we do have a bit of a hit to the approval, but we're going to go to 20% here as well, which is not going to make people happy. But if we can manage to actually meet all of their needs, that will make them a little bit happier. So a better church in here would make them happier. Beverages would make them happier. Clothing would make them happier. We're not going to be doing clothing, but I do think we'll go through and upgrade just a few of these burgage plots so we get at least a little bit more money from them, which I think is going to be kind of important. We have a few down here that we can look at as well. And I'm going to be honest, you might have noticed that I've been playing a lot of Anno 117 on the channel recently, the new one. I'm really enjoying it. I'm having a really good time with it. And I think if you enjoy Manor Lords, you might enjoy Anno as well. But there are things that Anno does that I do kind of wish Manor Lords did. And upgrading my buildings is actually kind of one of them. In Anno, you can just click a button and then just drag out over all the buildings you want to upgrade. In this, you go one by one. They're different games, admittedly, with different levels of detail in certain spaces, but I would like the ability to just go and be like, boom, they're all upgraded. It'd be nice, is what I'm getting at. It would be really nice. We'll not worry too much about it. It's not the end of the world. It would be nice, is all I'm saying. It would be a nice little touch, is my thinking. Now, let's head back over here. Well, actually, we have someone that's cold, apparently. Do we not have enough firewood in here? We might not in Nerderwand, which has me a little bit concerned. Let's see. We have 5 people. We have 5 unassigned families. We have got a bunch of wood over here. You know what? It might not be a bad idea to go ahead and get our hands on one more woodcutter's lodge. I'm kind of thinking that spot right there is kind of perfect for it, since we have all these trees nearby. We also have these guys out here. Might not be a bad idea just to make sure that we have all of the firewood that they're going to be wanting. As for Nerderwand, we can just update our numbers up here. We have 9 unassigned families. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and put them to work in the farmhouse. That's going to be the idea. We can go and get them working once the snow lifts, and hopefully that's going to be good for us. We will want to get some livestock over there as well. So I think what we'll do while we're in the neighborhood is get ourselves a hitching post, and I'm going to just put it right next to the farm. I might do another one as well, just to make sure, since we can upgrade these guys into stables, that'll give us room for 4 more animals, which I think would be lovely. But I am very excited to see all of this start to come together. I'm really excited to see the foresters get up and running, to see the woodcutters lodge get up and running. Admittedly, we might not have enough. We might not have enough people is what I'm thinking. I might not have done the math properly is my thought process here, because we have two available living spaces. We have 2 under construction. Yeah, I'm starting to become keenly aware that my math might have been off and we might need more people in here. I'm also thinking that a lot of these burgage plots could maybe be upgraded, although I'm sure a lot of my level 2s, they're not getting meat and fish, they're not getting clothing, they're not getting beverages. We really do need to deal with the beverage thing, but to do that, we need to improve our trade back and forth. And I've seen some comments talking about this as well, actually. Specifically the idea of, oh good, the game's frozen again. You know what? I'm just going to keep talking. There we go. We're good. Specifically the idea of not necessarily using the interregional trade for the transport of goods, essentially, is what I've seen. I've seen some comments saying, hey, you should use the pack stations again. Now, these are fine. They do work, and it is more of a barter system. The problem with the trading posts is that we're purchasing things, right? So even though we're getting the materials from Nerderweiss or from Snerderberger for Nerderwand, we're still purchasing it from those other regions. We're still spending regional wealth to get things from those other regions. The pack stations, which we have one right here, these guys get set up differently. These are set up to barter between Snerderberger and whatever. So we can send Snerderberger some rye bread and receive barley in return. And this is gonna spend that rye bread to get the barley back, essentially. So we're not spending money to do it, we're spending goods. Which begs the question, what do we have a surplus of right now? And the answer, interestingly, is firewood. Do I want to send firewood over there? We do also have iron sitting around. We have a bunch of that. We have clay as well. Do we have a bunch of clay sitting in storage right now? We have a lot of roof tiles. We could send roof tiles, I guess. If we look at crafting materials, how much clay have we got sitting around? None. Is that because we're just turning it into roof tiles? It might be, now that I think about it. I don't remember what the roof tiles are used for, to be honest. I'm drawing a blank on what the tiles get used for. I think it was for the church. I think that was like the only thing that needed them. So yeah, let's go to this pack station. Let's send roof tiles over to Snerderberger. We will receive barley in return. We will set this up, and hopefully that's going to give us a more sort of stable supply of barley. We can also maybe put some livestock in here. I'm not really too sure. We can buy one. That'll be fine. Yeah, I think we'll try this, is what we're going to do. We'll try to bring barley to Nerderwand via pack stations. At the very least, it might save us a bit of money, and it might help us provide beverages for more of the people in Nerderwand, which is kind of the idea. We also have a hitching post that's been built, which I'm assuming is one of these guys. They've both been built. Let's get them upgraded, is what we're going to do. This is also done with its upgrade, so we'll get some livestock in here. We're also going to say that your unlimited work area is very much going to be limited to all of this space. Can I make this big enough to cover those farms? I actually can't, which is very interesting. Do I want to build another farmhouse? I don't. I'm just going to let these guys roam around and do what they want to do. And we're going to see what happens as they do that. I have no idea if it's going to be a good thing or a bad thing, but that's what we're going to be doing. We also have 6 available. That's Snerderberger we're looking at. We have, can I get my, why is this showing me Snerderberger's numbers up here? I need to see the Nerderwand numbers. Also, Snerderberger still has the pantry problems, which is not great. There's my Nerderwand numbers. So we have 2 available families, 2 living spaces, 1 under construction. So I think what we do, since this is built, is we'll put 1 person in this forester's hut. We will put 1 person in this forester's hut. And we'll get 1 person. We have 2 available living spaces. Let's get 1 into that woodcutter's lodge just to get that up and running as well. And hopefully it's not going to be too long until we manage to get this all going. I'm excited about this. I'm hoping it sorts things out. We also have 307 regional wealth, which is kind of huge, actually. We might, if I can get more money, actually start to export the wax, which I would love. Oh, here we go. Here we go. How much are you taking from me? How much are you taking from me? Every time I start talking about money, someone comes in here and I just spend it all. Every single time. It's like real life. I get paid. I look at my PayPal. I'm like, ooh, this was a really good month. I put it in my bank. 2 days later, I'm like, what did I spend it on? And then a day later, a bunch of boxes arrive with a bunch of crap that I don't need. This got really, this conversation got really, oh, there we go. There's all the money gone. This conversation got really rail for a second. That's, that was unexpected. This feels like therapy. Anyway, I think Nerderwand is gonna be, yeah, there we go. We have these farms doing their thing. I really genuinely think we will need a second farmhouse over here. I'm not really willing to do that currently, but that's okay. It's also 0 days until tax collection. We got up to 3.7 thousand. So I do think the increased taxes are doing wonders for us. So we're going to be in debt to the king, which is fine. It's not fine, but it's what we're going to be. I think next year we will be able to pay the 4,000. And I think if we go to Nerderwand, we can take a little bit of a look at our taxes here. It's 10%. I'm going to make that 15% so that we have even more money coming through here. Obviously, our approval is not fantastic because some of these guys want water. Really? We don't have water access? You've got to be kidding me. Okay. Well, let's get someone working in here for one so that we have that bit of extra firewood. And we'll build a well just on this corner so that these guys get water access. Do we have another well in here? We do have a stone well, but that's not really providing for everybody. So we'll get this new one. We'll get it upgraded and that'll be good. It might even be an idea to build another one down here. Oh, I don't like the sound of that. Hold on a minute. An enemy unit has been sighted. It's not near me. Wait, where is it? Oh, there it is. So where are you going? What's your idea here? You do not look like you're going for me. You look like you're going for oh, that's never gonna not be funny for me. That's it never gets old. Unless they turn and start heading towards Nerderwand, which it does not look like they're gonna be doing. So I don't think I need to worry about these guys, which is good news. Very good news for me. Very bad news. Well, I'd say it's very bad news for these guys. There's no one here. I think they have they're all dead, which really makes me wonder what would happen if I go and take over this region. I'm not interested in finding out right now, but I'm very curious. So I think since Nerderwand is struggling a little bit with food and fuel, and since we have built a woodcutter's lodge over here, we can probably go ahead and build some new burgage plots to try and bring the food production up a little bit. We can do vegetable gardens, we can do whatever it is that we need to do. I am also thinking that I might try and do this in such a way that we have 2 sets of plots in here. Although I wonder, do we want people facing their houses towards a mine? We probably don't. So actually, at least for the beginning here, we can go to about this spot. We can go to, there is a road in here somewhere. We can go to about there, and we can do something like this, which I think looks okay. Those are some decently sized burgage plots. I kind of like this. And it does mean that some of these trees are going to go away, which is a bit unfortunate, but we can work with that. And I think that's going to be all right. We'll do a little bit of a road that goes to here, and then we can sort of connect these guys together so you can walk down through here. I think that's probably fair enough to do. And then what I'm thinking is I want to try and get some burgage plots that just sort of come around this corner in a way that doesn't look terrible. Not 100% convinced that this is a thing I can do. Not 100% sure what it's going to look like, because, yeah, it's about what I expected it would be. It does not look good. This, on the other hand, I think does look a little bit better. I'm not sure what that space at the back of these guys would be used for, which is kind of where my concern happens to be. So let's try... I want it to look decent. I know it doesn't matter, but I want it to look decent. I think we'll do this, and that'll be okay. I think we'll go here to here and here, and do something like that, and that'll be okay. Which does mean we're going to have this weird plot in here to sort of wrap around that corner. But again, I'm sort of okay with that. And then I think in here, we can maybe bring something right down, right back, and around like this. And it fills up that space pretty well. I mean, yes, these people are living next to a mine, but to be fair, my manor is right next to it. So if it's good enough for the Manor Lord, it's good enough for my burgage plots, is what I'm thinking. I think that's just how that's going to be. We'll also maybe fill this space with some burgage plots if that's going to be an option, which it totally is. I think I'm just going to do one because I can. I think that's probably fair enough. We could do that. Although I would like some production. I think the production is kind of the point. So we'll do it this way. And I think that'll be fine. A little bit of production at the back. We can do chickens or whatever it happens to be. But that'll be good. We can get some vegetables from this. We can get some chickens from this. We can get some goats or some pigs from this. And I think we could also, if we don't already have one, do we have, what is the button I need? That one, tab. Do we have a butcher in here? I, for the life of me, have no idea. I don't think we do. Although I'd be shocked if we didn't, because this is the place that we're getting all of our salt. But I don't think we do. So we have a bakery, we have a burgage plot. Let's swap you out to be a butcher. And then I think a bunch of these burgage plots down here can go ahead and be, I guess, pigs. And we can use the salt, we can use the pork to make sausages. And that's hopefully going to provide a good amount of food for Nerderwand, which would be lovely. I'm also thinking, since we have all these trees up here, might not be the worst idea in the world to put another woodcutter into this space just to make sure that we have enough firewood, especially since we're going to have a lot of new workers in here. So a woodcutter's lodge can live, I want to say back here, actually, might be kind of a cool spot for it. Just ever so slightly out of the way, with plenty of trees nearby to get us everything that we're going to be needing. So we'll put it right about there. That'll be pretty solid, and it can start tearing down all of those trees. And generally, the idea is that Nerderwand is going to just thrive. That's what we want. We have 20 new burgage plots coming in here. I love that this place has money. I love that this place, I mean, they don't love me, to be honest, but that's okay. I just love that this place works, especially given what it was when we took it over. So coming back to Nerderwand, I've decided that we're going to export mortar because we have 891 of it. We're not really using it. We're going to have a desired surplus of 200. It is only worth 1 regional wealth, but if we can export a ton of this, we will make money and hopefully be able to set up the wax trade route. Because we can't do anything else that's worth money. We could export roof tiles, but it's 350 to establish that route. We could export something in here, but it's not really worth doing. We have nothing in here. We have rye bread that we could export if I really wanted to. That would make me a little bit of money, but that would defeat the purpose of trying to get more food in here. We have pelts. We have iron ore. We have wool. Again, kind of defeats the purpose. So I'm not really willing to get rid of any of that. Commodities, we have no shoes. I mean, these are also major trades, so there's nothing we can do there. There's no minor weapons trades and firewood isn't really worth it, although we have a ton. You know what? We will export firewood, but I'm going to say minimum of 5,000, not 500, 5,000. So that hopefully we can make a little bit of money through that as well. Firewood production in here has skyrocketed. We're well and truly beyond the problems we were having with it. So here's hoping. I mean, we have 57 mortar sitting around here. We'll have some firewood in here at some point as well. We're still exporting war bows, which is something to keep in mind. So 260 regional wealth right now. If we can get someone to come buy the mortar, buy the bows, buy the firewood, we need 400. Oh my God, they're buying. I'm buying things still. We need 420 gold to get this trade route. And if we can if we can do that, we're going to be in such a good spot is basically what I'm getting at, because we have so much wax in Nerderwand. We will make a ton of money. We shouldn't need to want for anything. We shouldn't have any more money problems if I can just get people to buy the firewood and buy the mortar, which apparently they did, but I didn't get any money because I guess we instantly spent it in some. Wait a minute. Why do we have wax in there? Oh, it's because we're exporting it. We just don't have the trade route. That's probably why. Okay, well, you know what? We're gonna, it's gonna happen. We're gonna get there. Is what we're gonna do. We have so much of it to get rid of. That is ridiculous. Oh, no, hold on a minute. There we go. 433. That's good. If I close this and I reopen this and we go to crafting materials and we go to wax, we can purchase the trade route. We are now exporting wax for 6 regional wealth per unit. That's gonna be amazing. We should end up with a bunch of money in Nerderwand, which is gonna be great. We also have 2.3 thousand in the treasury right now. We have 182 days until the king's annual tax thing gets paid. So I think we're going to be okay. I do also think we probably need a few more people in Nerderwand to deal with things like the foresters' huts and the woodcutters' lodges. Slightly concerned about the fact that some of these fields don't look like they've been tended to. That's also a bit of a worry. But we'll see what happens. We'll at least get a little something from some of these guys, and that should be pretty good for us. I am really hoping for good things for Nerderwand. Really, really hoping for good things here. And you know, in Snerderberger, we are down to 11 months of fuel. We have 10 unassigned families. Let's do a little something. Let's build a combo of buildings. We can do a forester and a woodcutter. That's going to be 5 people between the 2 buildings. We can build 2 of each and hopefully sort of sort things out is my thinking. So let's do a little notch into this road right about here. And then what I'd like to do is build a woodcutter's lodge down at the end of this road, and we'll build a forester's hut on the other side. That'll be a kind of perfect little thing that we have going on. And then over this way, maybe we do something similar, or, I mean, this forest is just kind of fantastic. We could, I feel like we should do it in here. I don't want to tear away this entire forest is the problem. I really don't want to do that, but I think we might have to. We could also go over here. I mean, this area looks okay. I think that's what we'll do. We'll go and put a little road right to about, say, there. That'll be fine. We can do our, oh wow, zoomed in a little bit too far there, but we'll do the forester on this side. We'll do the woodcutter on this side, and that should be fine. I think that'll be really good for Snerderberger. I think it's important that we get those things in there. I think it's important that we make sure that they have enough fuel to stay nice and toasty. And then over in Nerderweiss, we are still struggling a little bit. We have got a lot of construction still going on, which is fantastic. We have a good amount of materials. So I think at the very least, we can go through and say, what do we want to do here? I think vegetable gardens. I think there's still a pretty solid pick. These yards aren't as big as they could be, but I think vegetable gardens are just the way to go, really. They really are. I'm pretty sure vegetable gardens, when I first played this game, were so much more powerful and just ridiculous than they are right now. I have a feeling they might still get tweaked. they are still, if we look at our food supplies, we're doing pretty good. If we look elsewhere, such as Nerderwand, we're doing pretty good. If we look in Snerderberger, we're doing ridiculously well. So I mean, we have massive vegetable gardens. So I don't know what the tweak would be. I'm not saying it's too easy. I don't think it's that. I do think there is probably going to be some tweaks to the vegetable gardens at some point. Anyway, we'll go down the line here and do carrots. We'll do cabbages. We'll do beetroot. We'll do carrots. We'll do cabbages. We'll do beetroot. That way we have a nice variety in here. And I think we just let the rest of this get built. That's going to give us a bunch of people working in here. Once we get all those people in, we can make some of them maybe into small holdings, maybe not. But at the very least, we could potentially do, let's see, fertility. A little bit more farming over here, maybe. No barley, no flax. A little bit of farming up here, perhaps. I think we're going to be a little bit limited in what we can do in terms of food in here. So I think it is just going to be burgage plots for the most part. And I think it's going to be processing as well. So making sure that we're turning all of that flour into bread, I think it's going to be really important. But I think for the most part, we're doing pretty well. On one hand, I feel like we've done nothing today. On the other, we've managed to open up a whole new world of trade for all of my little towns. Obviously, we're exporting a bunch of things out of Nerderwand now, which makes me very happy. And we do have money in Nerderwand. We've also, I think, managed to deal with the tax situation. My people aren't thrilled about it, but they're not going to be. They're getting taxed. I can't blame them. So, unfortunately, I think we're just going to have to deal with the fact that, yeah, wait, can you guys be upgraded? No, you don't have beverages because of course you don't. Of course it's they have clothes right now up here. They just don't have beverages. We could have had some more level 3 burgage plots, but unfortunately that's just not going to be a thing today. I was hoping. I was definitely hoping. How are we doing in terms of stuff in here? Do we have any barley? We do actually have barley in here. Do we have malt? Is it in here? I don't know where malt is. Am I blind? Is it in here? It might be. I don't see it. We have ale. Is it in here? Hold on a second. I don't see it. It's gotta be in like food then, right? Malt. Where? I hate this. I really hate not being able to like see things. It's really, really stressing me out because I don't know if like I'm just not seeing it or if it just doesn't exist. It's really, really stressing me out. Where is the malt house? Here. So we have malt right here. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we don't have malt anywhere. Let's get another person working in the malt house. In fact, no, because we have construction still to do out here. Do I need more? Wait, this hasn't been built? Really? Okay, this should have been built ages ago. I'd like to get someone working in that malt house, but you know what? I think we're good. I think getting into the world of trade is going to be really good for us. I think dealing with all of these fields down here is going to be really good for us. We do need more people in Nerderwand, but I like this. I'm very, very happy with this, and I think we're in a good place. I do, however, have a question for you, and there's two reasons I want to ask you this question. Number one, to get it completely out of the way and be honest with you, it is very much an engagement question. More comments, more suggestions for people to watch this video. It's good for the channel to have comments these days, apparently. So that's reason number one that I have a question for you. But reason number two is because I'm not entirely sure where we go from here. The challenge of this scenario is apparently to go and take out the rival lords, but let's be honest, I could do that in 5 minutes. We have enough influence to claim both of their regions. One of them has no people, one of them is relatively minimal, and I have enough soldiers to fight off anything that happens to come towards us. So I feel like, aside from a couple of tweaks and a little bit of balancing here and there, we've kind of reached the end game for what is available in Manor Lords at the moment. So I want your opinion as to what we should do next. Now, for complete and total transparency, I have sort of a plan in the broader sense for what I want to do on the channel. I've had a list of games that I want to work my way through, and Manor Lords is one of them. Obviously, it kind of came in after Transport Fever and after some other things as well. Once Manor Lords is done, I want to go play some Town to City, which is a game I've seen suggested in the comments and requested quite a bit over the last little while since it hit Steam Early Access. So that is what's coming after Manor Lords. But I don't just want to be like, hey, we're done with Manor Lords. I want to give this, you know, a fair shot. So basically, what are we doing? I think we'll go for another couple of episodes of Manor Lords. I want to wrap things up. I want to do it in a way that makes sense. So if you have any suggestions for things you would like to see, challenges that you have, or just general ideas for what we can do with our little sprawling whatever we have here, let me know in the comments below. We'll get through some of that stuff in the next couple of episodes, and then when that's done, we go on to Town to City. And in case you're curious, after Town to City, or at least around the time that we go into Town to City, is also when I would like to get back to Cities Skylines 2. And I've also been considering playing Cities Skylines 1 again for like a one-off little series thing. I think that could be kind of fun. But that's for then. My question is for now. But with all of that said and done and everything out of the way, that is going to do us for today. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. This has been an absolute pleasure as always. And as always, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.